If you've been watching earlier videos, you might have seen this. So this is a frequency generator, so an audio tone generator, which is quite nice. You can control it through these buttons here, or you can connect something to the serial port and you can control it externally. So I used this before with the Arduino, but I wanted to connect it to a 3-volt thing, so I was going to connect it to the microbit or perhaps to the Raspberry Pi Zero, both of which have got a 3-volt core. So this is a 3-volt operation, this is 5-volt operation. So to connect those things together you need this special piece of hardware here. Now what this is a 3-volt to 5-volt bridge, so a converter. So on here you've got some resistors, you've got a MOSFET, and it's quite an ingenious design, which was described in a Philips application note once back years ago. And these are made in China now. They're very cheap. You can buy a whole bunch of them, you know, for a few dollars basically. And it uses the MOSFET as an active element to switch between the two voltages. So I'm going to connect this up to the frequency module here, and I'm going to try and use it from the BBC microbit. So it's quite an ingenious design. This I might describe later how it works, but for now I'm just going to get the soldering iron out and connect it up to here. So here's my setup using the Raspberry Pi. So I've got one of the original Model B Raspberry Pis here. I've got a breadboard, but this is just to interconnect these two sets of wires. I've got my level shifter here, and of course the signal generator, and that's 5 volts coming in from my bench power supply. So here I've got the serial wires coming in from the Raspberry Pi. So this is the low voltage side, the 3-volt side. So these wires go into the low voltage side of the level shifter, and on the high voltage side of the level shifter, this is the 5-volt side, we're interconnected with the signal generator. So what I'm going to do now is log on to a console on the Raspberry Pi and send some instructions using a library that I've just written. So I'll show you the functions that I've just put together to test this. So if you've seen one of my videos about doing serial on the Raspberry Pi before, you'll recognize this bit. So I'm opening the TTY AMA0, that's the name of the serial port that's on the pins of the Raspberry Pi. So I open that at 9600, which is the speed that this signal generator generally wants to work. And here in the read params function, so this is sending the command read into the signal generator, which should cause it to send back 2 lines. The first has the frequency, the second has the duty cycle, and then I'm just extracting the numbers from here to make it look a bit prettier. I've also got the set params function, so this allows me to set the frequency or the duty cycle. And if you remember looking at this module before, when you successfully program this signal generator, it returns the string down. I don't know why they chose down, but there we go. So success is when it sends back down. So let's experiment with it. So if we say so I'll load up Python in interactive mode. We'll load up my functions, and if first of all I call read params, looking at the display here, we should be on 20 kilohertz and 50% duty cycle, and there we go. So it returns 20.0 for the frequency. This module has quite a weird way of expressing frequencies using dots and so on, but so we'll just live with that. So we got 20 kilohertz and 50% duty cycle. So if I put my meter on hertz so we can double check the frequency. And I'll just put this on the wires here. I can't really see what I'm doing here. So 19.8 or so. So it's the module reads a bit wrong, but you know, it's only a cheap thing. So now we could experiment with changing the duty cycle. So we'll say set params, and I'll say D for duty cycle. Let's choose 32%. And that says true. And you see the display has now changed to 32%. So we'll set the frequency, and if I say F10.0 for example, and that should select 10 kilohertz, and you see the display here has changed to 10 kilohertz. And if I do read params, I should be able to read those values back, and I can 10.0 and 032. So there we go. We're able to connect to the Raspberry Pi even though it's using a different voltage level using this magical module. So the eagle-eyed would have spotted that I said I was going to connect the microbit, and I actually showed you the Raspberry Pi, but I actually wanted to do both. But I did the Raspberry Pi first. So now I've got the microbit connected. So again, I've got receive, transmit and ground pins connected to my microbit here. I'm actually going to use the pin 8 and pin 12 because I already had some code written to use the serial port, which is on my GitHub site. So I wanted to use the existing code. So in the version of Python that's used on the microbit, we've got this slightly different programming interface for the serial port. We have this UART, so uart.init is what sets up the various parameters for the serial port. So I've set 9600 as the speed, which is what this signal generator seems to like. And you see I've selected transmit is pin 8, receive is pin 12. And one of the great things about the microbit actually is that you can assign serial ports to nearly any available pin, so it's very flexible in that way. So so I initialize the port, and then what I'm going to do, so you got the section here which is doing uart.ini, so seeing if there's any data available to read, and then if there is something available we read it and we display it on the microbit display. So it's a bit of a funny angle, but we should be able to read it all right. And then I've assigned the buttons, so we've got button A and button B. So button A is going to read the parameters from the display, from the signal generator rather, and then the button B is actually going to set to the chosen values. So at the moment I've got, see the frequency is 111 and the duty cycle is 18%. So if I flash my microbit with this code, okay, so that seems to be ready. So I'll press button A and we'll read the display. So F111 question mark D018 question mark. So the question mark is the carriage return, I think, or a line feed or something, which doesn't display well on the microbit screen, but you can see that it's reading the parameters off there. Now if I press my button B, it should reprogram both the frequency and the duty cycle, so I'll do that. So that says down, and you see the display here has now changed to 10.0 and 50% duty cycle. So again, we could, from Python on the microbit, we can read the parameters via the serial port, and we can also program the signal generator through the serial port. So that's really nice. I mean, I'm not sure what I'm going to use with that use that for, but obviously you can build some kind of signal generator that's controlled by a program. So I mean, for example, you could send various frequencies out. You could even play a song with it, although I'm not sure how good that would sound. But yeah, so with you know, this quite neat little level shifter, we're able to connect a variety of 3-volt systems into 5-volt systems and have them all working nicely together. So the Python code I've written for the microbit and the Python code that I wrote for the Raspberry Pi, I'm going to put them on my GitHub site, so if you want to go and download the code and use it for yourself, then you can do. Let's look at this level shifter circuit, because it's worth understanding how this works. It's quite an ingenious thing. So if you look, so on this side we've got the low voltage side, the 3.3 volt side, and over here we've got the high voltage side, 5-volt side, and in the middle you've got this MOSFET, and this here going down the center is the line, the logic line that connects the two devices, the low voltage and the high voltage devices. And this circuit allows both sides to be active and control the other, and it's quite clever the way it does that. So if you think about the situation when the device here and the device here, neither of them are pulling the line down, then what we've got is a resistor here that pulls this line up to 3.3 volts, and similarly we've got a pull-up resistor here that pulls this up to 5 volts. And in that situation, so the source voltage is 3 volts and the gate voltage is 3 volts, and so because VGS is effectively 0, this means that the MOSFET is switched off. So this is floating high, this is switched off, which means that this can only float high. So you've got a situation where the one side is reflecting the other. Now if you think about the situation where on the low voltage side the device here pulls the line down to ground, then with that at ground level you've got VGS is about 3.3 volts. So in that situation the MOSFET switches on, so that's a short circuit. So you've now got a short circuit that goes, you've got current going through this pull-up resistor, through the MOSFET and down to ground, which means that this side is down to ground. So by bringing this side down to ground, we've also pulled down the 5-volt side to ground. So that's quite clever. But the most clever of all is what happens when this side pulls the line down to ground. So if this is floating and then this gets pulled down to ground, then what happens is, because there's a parasitic diode here, so in the design of a MOSFET you end up with this this diode by accident that goes from source to drain. And so with this side pulled down, now we've got current flowing from the 3.3 volt side through its pull-up resistor. It'll now activate through the diode and the current will go to ground. And now because the gate has been pulled to ground, it means we have a VGS voltage of 3 volts again. So once again the MOSFET is going to switch on, and then you've got this clear path to ground, which means you've got the 5 volt side pulled down, and you've got the 3-volt side pulled down. So this is really a very clever little you know, piece of electronics, and very simple. So just to finish off, let me show you the diagram of what we've created here. So there we go. So we've got the signal generator over here, we've got the level shifter, and these are the two setups that I created, the microbit and the Raspberry Pi. And if you want to build it yourself, here are the various pin numbers so that you can construct exactly the same thing. So the code for these two sides, the microbit and the Raspberry Pi, I've put uploaded onto my GitHub site. Link is down below in the description, and also I've put a link to the application note that describes how the level shifter works if you want to look at that in more detail. So thanks very much for watching, and see you in the next video.